Well, hello, groups. My name is Josh. It's good to be with you once again. Hey, this last Sunday was a big Sunday. It was State of the Campus and State of the Church. And today I want to talk to you about State of your group, State of the group today. And, you're here and you are a part of this group. Just as Jesus had his 12, you guys have your group of people. And what we're wanting to do is take the opportunity to continue to go deeper, wider, and again, we want to love greater than we have ever before. And it takes us as a group to do that. It takes you as an individual to say, I'm all in. And while you were at State of the Campus, your lead was casting vision about next steps, about what's next in your community, how to love your community, how you can get involved. And God has put that in front of your campus to go after, to chase. And it takes you to make that happen. And then also, State of the Church. Where are we going as a network? Where is New Life heading? And we're excited about all of these things in front of us. And the reality is, we just want to be used by God. We want to be used and say, God, here I am. Here's what's happening. And so I have a couple of things I wanted to bring up as we've gone through. And this weekend we heard about a really cool story about St. Patrick and how he is at one point, he was essentially brought in as a captive. And then he was free and God called him. And he couldn't get the voices of those Celts out of his head. And he answered that call. He went on to become a minister, and then he went out. He went back and became a missionary. And I think that all of us at one point or another, we can find ourselves in that story as well. It's relatable, isn't it? That we could hear the voice of our community, the people in our neighborhood, the people in our workplace, and we can hear that. In Matthew chapter 16, as we read this over the weekend, Jesus and Peter are having this conversation. And in this conversation, Jesus asked Peter this: who do you say that I am? Who do you say that I am? I think this is a big question for us to wrestle with, because what we believe about Jesus affects how we view people. It affects how we view our problems or circumstances, situations that are beyond our control. How we view Jesus and what we understand for Jesus affects everything, because Jesus changes everything. And so I want us, as we're considering these ideas, as these different initiatives that have been brought up for State of the Campus have been brought up, how are we going deeper in our community? What tools are we using? How are we investing in ourselves and growing, right? How are we getting wider? How are we doing stuff together? How are we doing ministry and our mission together? How are we becoming the church? I love that. And then, of course, greater love. How are we loving our community in a greater way? What can we put our hand to? What can we do as far as community connection events that we can begin to chase down? So your group has a big part of it. And as the Bible teaches, every single one of us has our own part to play, different parts of the body. And so we need to be taking all of our gifts, kind of like what we talked about last week, as a matter of fact. I need to bring my lunch. I need to bring all that God has given me, my passions, my desires, my gifts, talents, all that stuff. I need to be able to bring that to the table, and then God does what he does, and he comes in with the miraculous, and he takes this, and it's a combination of both. And so answering these questions in front of us this week, how are we going to go deeper? How are we going to go wider? How are we going to love greater? What's our part? What's the state of your campus? How are you guys, as your own group and your own community, how are you guys investing in this? So I want you guys to have some really great discussion. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really believing that this week can also be a catalyst for the future of your group, whether it's to multiply, whether it's to serve together, whether it's to be more intentional in your community. It's going to be a great, great conversation. So I'm looking forward to hearing all about it. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.